Alexman here, and welcome back to another session of The Legend of Zelda, The Windwaker HD! Last time, we restored the Master Sword to its proper glory power, thanks to Makar becoming the new Wind Sage. We also got a very cool item in the form of the magic armor, so now we can look a little bit purpley, save us from damage. And we collected the rest of the Triforce Shards, except for one, up there, on the isle here on Outset Island. But firstly, we want to get some more money in our wallet. So we're going to go to Beetle. No, I don't want to buy anything for you. I want to sell stuff. So let's sell our spoils here. I am going to sell everything I've got so far, except for the... Yeah, I can actually sell that. That's actually better. Alright, you, Beetle, sell these. There goes 20... Yeah, I think Beetle actually sells every item he got from you from 20 rubies a piece. So that can be pretty good. I want to sell all of them. Is it 37? There we go. 740 rupees. Yes, please. I'm pretty sure there's someone on Windfall Island that can actually buy those from you, but you get only like 60 rupees out of them all, so you get gypped. So we're gonna do... Bye. Okay, oh, I want to show you this one. Joy pendants, 20 each. So up to 20? Yes, I'll buy it. You can buy all 20, please, Beetle. 400 rupees. We'll do our also this as well, our Knight's Crest, because we already used up this ability for this one. 12 crests. Yes, please. So those crests there. Alright, now we've got... Oh, I only sold one. You're like hotcakes, I tell you. I'm going to make laughing at monsters. Sweet. Cool. That's all we need from there. We're going to do some final preparations, of course. Take that back. So we're going to need our leaf. We're going to need, let's see, probably our bow and arrow. We already got a lot of bombs, a lot of boomerangs, a lot of everything. Because this area we're going to, the Pit of 100 Trials. Now, this place is again a concern for basically a cut content. Around the time of the GameCube, Nintendo was bent on basically let's just put a pit, let's put, 100 floors in and call it good. That was exactly what their mindset was. And this was technically not the game that started that trend. It was Paper Mario and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door to give them that idea. But for Wind Waker, in its sense, is that now we only have, in order to get the Triforce Shard, we need to go through this pit. Now, you only have to go through half of this pit to get the Triforce Shard. But if you go through the entire route to the very bottom of the floor, you do get a particularly unique item that you can't get anywhere else. Now, I believe this was changed in the original. It was changed from the HD to the original. In the original, if you went down to the very bottom of the pit, you would have gotten a piece of heart. And if you but the item we're going to get, initially in the GameCube version, I believe, is that if you give the School of Joy teacher, Miss Joy herself, if you give her, I think, 40 of the Joy pendants, I think, she would get you the item in the Pit of 100 Trials here. So, for reasons that they changed up for this, I do not recall. If you want to tell me in Twitch chat or YouTube comments after the fact, I'd be greatly appreciated for it. But I want to get a bottle. I already have one fairy, and I'd rather have two. I want to be, perfectly safe. Even though this game is pretty easy. The Pit of 100 Trials is a very interesting place, to be fair, because in this place, nothing drops from enemies. Nothing. So, you're going... Well, not technically, though. If you do have the grappling hook equipped, and if you're going to use it, then you can get the rare treasure drop from the enemy if you choose to grapple it. But if you kill it normally, you do not get the reward. So bear that in mind. Let's fly off. Let's see if we can make it over there. No problem, hopefully. Now, I'm not sure there's any better way to getting over here other than this spot. Well, there's a tree here, so I'm pretty sure you could hookshot your way here, but I find I like it nice to fly across the map, as it were. And then also the fact that the grass here drops magic. So we need to get our power bracelets here, chuck that rock, and let's go into the first half of the Pit of 100 Trials. This place is gargantuan. And also the fact the floors look very the same. Oh, I could have gone here and got the fairies. Oh well. I want to see the Great Fairy Fountain one more time. Alright, let's head down this place. Now, every floor is going to be themed to the dungeons you came from. So the first two shards, or at least the first half of this place, is going to reference Dragon Roost, the Forbidden Woods, and the Tower of the Gods. So bear that in mind. We have keys around us, so we're going to have to watch out for them. But as you saw there, nothing dropped. So we have to be worried about Midlands too. Sometimes the enemies, though, are not from the particular dungeon. Like these Midlands, why are they here? I have never liked this enemy, and the fact that this enemy returns in Phantom Hourglass is a testament to how I hate this enemy. And also the fact that they don't spawn very regularly, so you have to actively look around over the map so they summon themselves. They're just a very sporadic enemy of sorts. Alright, well, floor 3. And yes, folks, for this part of the video on the YouTube side of things, yes, this is exactly what we're doing. This is it. You have to do this in order to beat the game. Only half it, though. Like I mentioned earlier. You only have to half it for plot progression, but if you're going like me and you want all the inventory items, and including is the one that we get at the end of this place, you have to do it all. Very much so. Alright, come on, you choo-choos. Need you, don't need you. And thanks to the Master Sword powered up, basically almost everything in this place is going to die in one hit, for the most part. Now, you might be wondering about the magic armor. I think I mentioned it, or if I did not mention it beforehand, but the magic armor, in the GameCube version, it drained your magic meter. But in the HD version, it does the same thing as it does in Twilight Princess. Well, to a certain extent. Where, if you activate it and you get hit, you lose money, rupees, instead of health. Well, come on, you. So, by all accounts, that's why you should have a lot of rupees on standby. So when you use the magic armor, you can basically somewhat cheese the difficulty. But if you're out of money, the magic armor will not work for you. It only runs on magic. Or, not magic. It runs on rupees, not magic. Come on, you. Keys. Booyah. Also, now, these floors now will start mixing enemies of 2 variants, or even 3 variants at times, together. So, now the thing is going to get more trickier. Trickier than it's ever right to be. Now we got fire keys, which isn't really different than normal keys prior, because again, nothing on your items basically burn up. Booyah! Take care of you. Well, the midst we're talking about certain things, it is technically now the Zelda 35th anniversary. Not sure what they're gonna do. I don't know what Nintendo's gonna do. I'm hoping that there's gonna be more than just one type of remaster. And I know people have been wanting, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, remasters and everything, but Nintendo's already done that, and I don't think Nintendo likes redundancy. So it could be really any game. It could be any game from the Zelda series, for that matter, or even, it could be a brand new game. You never know. It could be Breath of the Wild 2, whatever that name drop can be. Or it could be it could be anything else. For me personally, I'm going to go against the grain and hoping that there's remasters of multiple different Zelda games. Hold on a second. I'm going to turn down. I think the volume's a little too high for the game. Hold on a second, folks. Let me do that real quick. It might be too high. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. Let's go now. Okay, after a certain amount of floors, I believe is 10, I believe, that you do have the option to get going back up to the top. This light here will take you to outside the cave. It will take you outside the cave, but if you try to go back in, you have to start from level 1. So bear that in mind. Every floor has some money, some supplies to recharge your items, consumable items, and a few hearts. With that said, let's continue on, and let's talk more tangents, shall we? We're in the Forbidden Wood now, so bring up any items that can take down P-hats as well, so like the boomerang. Huzzah! Actually, I can get my bow and arrow out like this. This is actually, bow and arrows are better. What is that here? Come on. There we go. For me, personally, for Zelda Remaster, I would rather see the Oracle games remastered. We already saw what could be the art style for it, which is, you know, a Link's Awakening for the Switch. That's what it could be. Which I'm hoping it will, you know, like, and then we get the, you know, oh, we got the hammer now, huh? Hammer time! No more hiding in the ink there, not hiding in a small form. The hammer will take these guys out, no problem! Also one hit, too. But for me, I would love to see something different from the Zelda team. Like, everyone is wanting Skyward Sword HD, which you know is going to happen. You know that's definitely going to happen. It has to be. It is technically the only 3D Zelda game that has yet to see a remaster. So, I'm hoping that Skyward Sword is, you know, now let's hopefully it's not, you know, I know the pandemic and everything has caused a lot of concern for many, but I really hope that in the Zelda 35th that Nintendo goes above and beyond. And we've already seen that, you know, Zelda gets a lot more love from Nintendo than Mario nowadays. Like, we have the Hyrule Historia, but we also have the Arts and Artifacts book, as well as the Encyclopedia. It was like the 3 books that Dark Horse did or translated to a certain extent. So yeah, so we got some good stuff, and then also the fact that the Zelda team is actively collaborating with the people who do the mangas. So we do have, you know, Nintendo's blessing on the current mangas themselves. So I think that there's a lot of love for Zelda from Nintendo, a lot more than Mario, because Mario has a manga. He does have a manga. It is been translated into English. I have seen it at the local bookstore, and I don't get it. I don't get the art style. I don't get the story that came with it. I don't even know what the story was. All I know is that I just saw it on a bookshelf, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of like, you know, not really full-baked manga that they were gonna, you know, actively push, because, you know, we already have, you know, most of the games of the Zelda series have been put into manga form, including Twilight Princess, which is again an odd one to me. I thought, you know, that Twilight Princess I don't think Twilight Princess needed a better story, but they did. They made Twilight Princess manga, and it is a very darker story. At the time of this stream/recording episode, that the manga is not completely fully out. It's still in development. I believe there is 8 volumes, I believe, active right now. I'm not sure if they're gonna continue. They have to continue it, because it's after 8 volumes, the story isn't finished. So it's only a matter of time before the Twilight Princess manga gets completed. Now, if any game that has not seen a manga initially, not initially, but Windwaker, that is odd to me that Windwaker has not gotten a manga. And for a game that clearly needed more story, after the initial, cut content of this game in general, that the story was changed, changed somewhat, or basically lost due to the time constraint. But I would not mind, in my honest opinion, I would not mind if there was a Wind Waker manga. Like, it needs to. My only real issue with it is that, is that there's Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass got a manga. I just don't get it. Why Phantom Hourglass? In that case, why not Spirit Tracks? I would say Spirit Tracks would be good for a manga. I would love that. I really would. I like I like Spirit Tracks. I have played the game. But it's like, at the same time, I haven't played Spirit Tracks in a while, but Spirit Tracks had a pretty good, compelling story. At least it was ending, the Wind Waker arc. And everything. I would have loved... Oh, you! Get out of here, you Wizrub, cursed enemies. Ah, I dodged your fireballs. Now eat mine. What, did I knock back the fireball from him? I'm gonna have to look back on playback, because did I just knock back the fireball with a fire arrow back at the Wizrub? I didn't know. I couldn't tell. But we're now in the last part of the Triforce region of this thing, because we're going to the Tower of the Gods enemies, and you can tell we're in the Tower of the Gods because the background has certainly changed. But it's like I would the Wind Waker arc would be a really cool way to, again, they have Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass has a manga. I just can't fathom that. And while that manga is pretty hilarious, for the most part, I would rather see... I was like, why didn't Wind Waker get one? And I think if 35th anniversary is anything to go at, I think that at least announcement for another manga... Ow. My boy, you went right into the spike. I know. That was all part of the master plan. Alright, next level. Let's go. But, as for the remasters for Zelda... Oh, this is a little tricky. Yep. We have yellow choo-choos here. Watch out. All these have yellow choo-choos in them, so watch out for that. But, for me, I would love to see remasters of the Four Swords saga. Four Swords is very underrated. Now, some people might say they probably never heard of Four Swords, and well, the Four Swords saga is of Minish Cap, the Four Swords game that was on the GBA / A Link to the Past GBA port, and it was also Four Swords Adventures. That completed the arc of the Four Swords games. And while I did say that in my playthrough of the Four Swords, I said that if Four Swords Adventures was, remastered or released to the Switch, and since, Nintendo is doing, Super Mario 3D World with online multiplayer, there is no doubt in my mind that I would say that the Four Swords would work very well for a online multiplayer. I think it'd work. And the fact is that it's got 8 worlds, 3 levels within each, and thanks to the online functionality, everyone has their own screen, which means they're not going to lose any. They can basically every player could have their own, full-on screen, and then have the interior show up on the screen as a separate pop-up, like it does in single player. So you can get the multiplayer action of Four Swords with the online functionality that would be somewhat in 3D World. Now, we're not sure how 3D World is going to handle in online multiplayer, given the shaky reputation that Super Mario Maker 2 has. with its online functionality that's basically to the point where hamsters are running the servers. But as my understanding though, it's like if they're really gonna truly pull this, you know, online thing off with online multiplayer, I really hope that, you know, if Super Mario 3D World is anything to go by with multiplayer, then there's plenty of games that were from maybe from the GameCube era or the GBA and the GameCube GBA area that would work very well with wireless functionality and online play. There's no doubt in my mind that would work. That would be awesome. Ow. I'm not worried about the hearts lost here now. It's the other half I'm going to be worried about. This part of the vision might be a little longer than normal, but oh, eat bombs. Get out of here, you bubble. Come on. Booyah. Put a bomb right in there. Booyah. At least you know the Master Sword's glowing. That means there's a lot of malice in this region. That would only make sense, wouldn't it? We're almost to the end of this spot, because now we have to go against 2 Dark Nuts. Okay. Now I do have my magic armor, my, you know, Grandma's soup and magic armor, but the path of the shard, the Triforce Shard, is pretty easy. It's not that hard. It's only when we get to the after. Come on, will you stop blocking me and just? There we go. Take that, Dark Nuts. Let's go to the next floor. And this is it. At the end of the first half of the dungeon, or the Pit of 100 Trials, it gives you money. This is where you would get the Triforce of Courage shard here. But after you get the shard, if you go in that middle spot there, after you collect the shard, will be a warp out of here. So if you need to leave, this is the way to do it. But we are not done yet, folks. We have the other half to take care of. Now, normally people wouldn't do this portion of the road, but I am going after the last main item of the game that we can use to equip Link with. So, yeah, we're going there. Here it is, the last piece of the Triforce Shard. Now, the last shard. Now you might be thinking, oh, does the cutscene play when you get this? No, it does not. The cutscene that the Triforce reforming will show up, will only start with you getting back on the King of Red Lions. So, in order to actually get the other half of the dungeon, you do need to pass at least the Earth Temple so you can get the Mirror Shield. With that said, with that shard in tow, let's go after the other half and get our last item. Let's go!